first thing we have to do is find the tool. So let's go up into Tools and Services, and under Genomics, click on Similar Genome Finder. And it's pretty simple. Search by genome name or ID, or you can upload FASTA or FASTQ files. So we'll show that in a bit. I could first start by looking for the name of a particular genome, but there are so many genomes with this name, and how do I find the right one? What I prefer to do in this instance is use the unique genome identifier that we've talked about before. So I put that in, and it tells me exactly the genome that I want. So there it is. Now let's go into the parameters box, 50 hits, p-value of 1. Remember, that's not statistically significant, and distance, not so much. Organism type, why not? I'll do bacteria and archaea and viral genomes. And let's start with reference and representative genomes. And we want the top 50. Yeah, okay, let's go with it. So let's click on search. And now we wait. And I often like to get the circles while I wait. Oh, that was pretty fast. Okay, so let's look at this and let's give us more room. These are the top hits, but look, it gets pretty distant pretty quickly. And so it's the top 50 hits. And what I mean by distance is look at the total number of k-mers shared with this particular genome. 65 out of 1,000. And then the numbers get smaller and smaller and smaller until we even get outside of the genus range. Well, you know, when I see something like that and I see it surrounded by strep, I wonder about that genome. But let's, just for fun, take the top 10. So I can click on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's take it all the way up to this 17. And then I can do a shift click, and I'm going to create a group of those. And we're going to use that to generate a tree later, because in your phylogenetic tree, if you can get some things that are slightly outside, it just looks nicer. It roots your tree better. So notice that I've highlighted those genomes, and I go into the green action bar and I click on group. And it pops up this new window. This is going to be a new group. So I click the down arrow here and I click on new group, and I'm going to call it Similar Genome Finder Reference Strep Genomes. So, you know, I may come back to this months later and try to remember what it is without having to open it just by the name. So add that. Yep, it gives me a pop-up message saying you've created this group. So now let's look across all the public data. And so this is a very nice feature. I can click Edit, Form, and Resubmit. And it's starting at the same place, but this time I want all the public genomes. And maybe let's go up to 100 here, still with the same p-value and distance. This one's going to take longer, so get your cup of coffee, sit back. But we have to press search to get it all started. So here we go. And so we'll just sit and wait. And if you watch that little wheel spin, it's mesmerizing. Remember, it's searching across 1.1 million genomes. So more than that, I think it's 1.16. And it's climbing all the time. Because every night we go in and we get new genomes from GenBank, ones that we don't have, and we annotate them and add them to the database. And after what seems like a very long time, we see the results returned. So look at this, the k-mer counts, and you notice I paid more attention to that than distance and p-value. I just like the k-mer counts. Now we're in higher numbers, so these are closer. And you can also see that the distances are more significant, as are the p-values. And so there are a lot of them. So the reference and representative databases are, GenBank does those, and it's trying to represent good quality genomes that represent what is known about the taxonomy of bacteria. So all public data genomes is all the data. So let's take a good chunk of these. I don't want all 100, but let's go all the way up to, well, let's say 850, just to give us a good number. When you push the shift and the click, and that gives you everything. And I'm going to group those genomes. And this is a new group, public Similar Genome Finder strep. Add that. Now we have two groups that we can use in the trees. All right. So in the next video, we're going to do the same thing with contigs and reads, so you can look at the comparison of how those return. So I'll see you there.